Hello and welcome back to Blue Tube, where today we're going to be previewing our home game against Northampton Town. How are you doing?
Looking forward to this game. Back at St Andrews, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff against the Cobblers.
Yeah, the Cobblers. And
Do you know where the name comes from, Cobblers?
I know you're going to tell me.
You're going to tell me it's a load of cobblers, aren't you? Back in the early 1900s, Northampton was known as a shoemaking town, and hence the name Cobblers sort of formed from that, and they've held on to it ever since.
Back when you was in school, wasn't it?
Yeah, just after. Brother.
Yeah, that's dying nicely.
It is a bit, isn't it? We need to drum that up
No,
a
I
bit
don't
more,
think
don't
we
we?
do.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Right, let's get into it then. What you got for me?
So yeah, straight into the stats then. So just picking up, doing a little bit of looking today actually, and might need some help here because this didn't sound right to me, as it never does. And I know you always say that.
question them, don't you?
According to this, historically, v Northampton Town, games won 2, games drawn 1, games lost 1. Now listen to this. Back in December 1966, at home, Blues played Northampton Town on the 26th of December 1966, and we won 3-0. Next game was the 27th of December 1966 at Sixfields, and we lost 2-1. Both League Division 2 games.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
Now it can happen, but very close together like that. We know Christmas periods were like really crammed in like they still are now.
Yeah, but 24 hours apart.
I'd love someone to be able to tell us, and tell us in the comments if you can, or we're on Facebook.
There's surely got to be some interesting trivia there.
Yeah, someone will remember that. It's before me. I'm not that old. Shut up.
No, but that is really fascinating.
I think it is.
You spent ages looking into that, didn't you? Because you couldn't quite believe it.
Find the exacts around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to have loads of programmes going back to the 60s and giving them away to people that looked after them better than I ever did. So wish I'd still got them. To be honest, I bet I've got one from then as well.
No, but if anyone knows anything about that, if
what
that's
a year.
true.
66 as well.
Yeah, I wonder what happened that year.
Yeah, can't quite remember. Yeah, but anyway, going on to a bit of league form. Northampton, bit mixed. League games. They've won 3 out of the last 7 games. Last night they convincingly, well, not convincingly, but they beat Fulham. They beat Leicester under 21s
in the Bristol Street.
Absolutely, they didn't have much in the way of possession. Like a lot of the teams in this league, literally took the 3 chances they had. Their possession was minimal. And looking at the stats, I didn't see the game. Leicester were all over them, but they ground in and did really well. Whereas we know what Blues form's like. We're on a nice streak. We got through, I'm going to say comfortably, in the FA Cup the weekend. We thrashed them 1-0. But we won't say any more on that because there is a video that we've put out if you want to have a look at that, guys. The manager is John Brady.
Later, Tom.
So I don't know much about him, but players to watch out for Northampton. They've got what looks like their replacement for our Mark Leonard, because we nabbed him from Northampton, didn't we, in the summer. They picked up this guy, Cameron McGeehan, and he looks like quite a fiery attacking central midfield player. He's scored 4 goals for them this season. He's got a couple of assists as well, and he does look half decent. Their forward line, here's the interesting thing. It's can you think of who it is?
Well, I know we've got one player who's gone out there, but he won't be able to play, will he?
Tyler Roberts, still a Blues player. Yeah, he won't be able to play.
How's he doing for them?
He's not doing too well. He's a lone striker, and I think he scored 1 goal. He's only been started 6 times for them.
I'm gutted for him, I am.
Yeah, because he really was putting the effort in, wasn't he?
In the pre-season, I think because he struggled with injury, didn't he? And he wanted to try and rectify that. Obviously, with Brady coming in at this point, I think he went over to see some of the specialists. He did something. He went over to Vegas, didn't he? and he did a few programs. He was quite vigorous in his training,
He
from what I
spent
could
weeks
tell.
over
Spent
there,
a
didn't
long
he?
time
Trying
over
to
there.
almost like rehab himself.
Yeah, and he was like, do you know what? We're going to come back in League One. I'm going to prove myself, show myself up, and it just hasn't quite landed for him yet. He's only young, 25 years old. I still think he's got a ways to go yet. I still think he's got that window of potential to jump through if he can just find his feet, and I hope that he can do it for Northampton. I really do. It hasn't been nothing. It hasn't been completely fruitless, has it? He's got a few assists here and there.
Absolutely. But here's an interesting one. I don't know if I'll go for this, but they played in the EFL Trophy against Leicester. They played this young lad called Neo Dobson, who scored 2 of the 3 goals. Now, he was assisted by Tyler Roberts with one of them.
Yeah.
This kid's not getting much of a look in, and I didn't see the game, so it could have been 2 tap-ins, right place at the right time. So I wouldn't be surprised the fact that if Roberts can't play, whether they'll bring this kid in, and that was his sort of introduction to bringing him through. I don't know. So that'll be an interesting to watch out for.
Oh, sorry for the break in play there, folks, but just a quick word from KRO Clothing. Now, if you haven't guessed from the name, KRO Clothing has a few garments in the way of our favourite football team, the Blues. And if you guys want 10% off of KRO Clothing at the moment, then please use the code BLUETUBE10. Please bear in mind this excludes all premium and non-Blues related items. Now back to the video.
Here's something else interesting for you. I'm full of factoids today. Tyler Roberts, his agent, his footballing agent, is a Birmingham lad called Dean Sturridge, who is brother of Simon Sturridge, who was a Blues player.
Before my time.
Oh, a lot of the Blue Noses all know exactly who I'm talking about there. And a few further on from that, Dean Sturridge, now a footballing agent, having hung up his boots. His client list includes George Hall, for Blues, Deion Sanderson,
right,
and he's got other players. He's got managers on the books as well. One of them's Darren Moore.
Okay.
Yeah, who is sort of mixed. I don't know where Darren Moore is at the moment. I'm sure he's.
How do you even find this stuff out?
I just dig in. I like digging around the internet and doing a bit of research. Try and make it interesting for anyone that wants to tune in.
It is good. It is good.
But yeah, it's just
interesting.
I like to do a bit of digging. Onto the Blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on then.
So injury news. It's all looking better actually. Lee Buchanan is back in good training now. He's really getting stuck in trying to get what's been called, as I looked at Birmingham Live today.
Looks like.
Well, he's in live training now, according to Alex Dickin from Birmingham Live. I was reading his article today, so that sounds promising. Christian Bielik was close actually for being in the squad against Sutton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Apparently so. He's just building up strength in his legs, was the report. Scott Wright, Emil Hansen aren't anywhere close, and they're not expected to be fit now until after the international break.
A recurring question from us was about Scott Wright and the nature of that injury.
Don't know, it didn't say, and I couldn't find exactly what it was.
Yeah,
so that's an
cause for
interesting
concern for me, that is.
Well,
without actually knowing what the injury is, if it's unknown and has been unknown for quite some time, because he dropped off, he just disappeared, he vanished out of thin air. He had that game, was against Shrewsbury where he scored 2 goals.
Oh, he was on fire.
And then he was gone.
He played the whole game, didn't he? Or was he? I can't remember if he was sub, but I don't think he went off injured.
No, he didn't. No.
But I'm holding on to hope that he's expected to be back after the international break, which is the 16th of November, isn't it, when that starts again?
I'm not too sure. Just as long as everything's all right. It'd just be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know.
What exactly it is, it would be good to know.
Yeah. So, anyway, I was going to say someone else that played for both teams more recently that's interesting to us, and we've already mentioned him, and that's Mark Leonard.
Mullet Man.
So we were talking about Mark Leonard earlier because the way that we think, or certainly the way that I think, with a game like this, I'd probably be inclined to sort of bring him in for that passion and wanting to do well against your former club. But I don't think Chris Davies does it that way, does he? I think he picks the best 11 for the day.
Yeah.
Whereas I go up, I wear my heart on my sleeve.
That's why he's a manager and you're not.
Okay. I can dream. Usually do while I'm awake.
No, but I certainly see your point though, to see if he could come back and haunt his old club. But then again, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, because as far as I can tell, he loved it at Northampton. He was chosen as a player of the year. I think it would be fond memories for him. It would be interesting to see how the fans would respond to him though.
Yeah.
If he did play.
Yeah. I think he'll at least come on and get a good half hour at least.
I think he deserves it.
I'd love to see him get a start, but at the same time, who would you take out for
Exactly.
him?
It's just shifting a Water or
And I
Pake.
think, Pake being man of the match against Sutton, totally deservedly so as well.
He's going from strength
Yeah.
to strength. He is.
But there's a slot for him if he wants to come on, fresh legs. I mean, to bring him on against his former club, to give him a good half an hour, second half, I think he'd really run his socks off, wouldn't he? So, depending on how things are going. But no, I could see that happening. Apart from that, would you change much? I'd still want to see Stansfield right side and Alfie May starting. It didn't happen.
Yeah,
did
I
it,
agreed
Sunday?
with you with Alfie May, but it is a point on where you're putting these players. Are you having Jay up front as the 9, or are you putting him on the right? Because the way I see it now, you've got to have Williamson as that 10.
For me,
But it's good.
as well.
There's a lot of versatility with these players. You can stick them in all sorts of positions on the pitch, and they'll do a job for you. So we do have options.
Well, I always, in my mind, I'm thinking, there's good reason for it. Alfie May, he works hard, but he knows where that net is, and he will close down and
Off the ball, we always say it.
Yeah, but as a number 9, which he's scored the goals, and for energy value and getting about the pitch quick. And I know Alfie May can do it as well, but Jay Stansfield on the right hand side, because he can cut in, he can be covered then by Laird coming up from the right, who's got all that energy as well. Williamson, number 10, who can slot those balls through, as we mentioned the other day. And talking about Williamson, he's been nominated for this month's Player of the Month.
Yeah.
So well done to Williamson there. And Pake, I'm surprised he wasn't nominated again, because he's just been brilliant, as we've said.
I think Water was nominated again as well,
Was he?
Could be wrong. I think he was.
I didn't
as well.
notice that.
I think he was. I could be wrong.
Deservedly so. You could probably name, again, most of the team. But
This is true.
Who would you play on the left then? Would you give...
I always do the lineup. I'm going to
Go on, then.
You do the lineup this time.
Okay, so
start from the keeper. Let's have a think about it.
No reason to change that. All stop starts.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Love Peacock Farrell, but keep it going as it is at the moment. I don't know, we got to stand in if we need to. Laird right back, wouldn't change that.
Had a great game against Sutton, I thought.
I'd still stick with your Clara and your Ben Davis and Cochrane on the left.
It's easy at the back for me at the moment.
It just
really
writes
is.
itself at the
But
moment.
I'll tell you what, though, I keep thinking about Ben Davis and that Christian Bielik dilemma, because he's going from strength to strength as well. He's just getting better and better.
A question for you.
Go on.
When Bielik is fully fit, does he walk back into his
well, this is it.
spot?
I don't know.
Does he have to wait his turn?
In good conscience, just think,
Club
he's
captain
back now.
That'll be interesting, that will.
Yeah, how that...
Is he fit and he hasn't got his way back in yet? Is he waiting to get match fit? Well, he's not going to get match fit until he's played games, has he? So will you see him introduced as a sub?
I think that's the way
It's
that
a hard
you've got
decision
to
to make, that is. Anyway.
You've got to give players their dues for when they're performing well, which Ben Davis has, and he's given Chris Davis no reason to leave him out of the side with his performances. I think he's been very stable at the back, very calm, very composed. I've said these words before about him. He seems to be a really cool cucumber of a centre half. So I don't think with Bielik coming back, you can really afford to drop that, because what does that do to a player like Ben Davis' confidence?
That will be interesting to see what he does there.
Be.
It's a massive decision to make, but that's why he's manager and I'm not.
Well, it's a wonderful, horrible problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
players. Getting back onto the team then. So is it Iwata, Leonard with Pake? I'd probably start actually thinking about it. Iwata, Pake.
No way.
It writes itself again. Left hand side, I'm going to start with Yokoyama.
Oh.
That's my start for the Saturday.
He seemed to have. He's been identified as an impact player, hasn't he? Up until this point. But I do believe. I don't think he will start. I still think that.
I think he will, but that's just what I'd like to see.
Yeah. I still think he's
because
got a way
then,
to go.
if you've got, if you can keep Anderson on the bench watching and keep him, building up that adrenaline to get onto that pitch, and then just unleash him in the second half, maybe with 30, 35 minutes to go. it opens up a whole new can of worms for Blues, isn't it?
That's what you get at the moment with Yokoyama, though. But I see your point, and I agree with you. I've said it many a time that I'd love to see Yokoyama start.
Both are impact players, aren't
Yeah.
they? Right side, I'm going to put Stansfield.
Yeah, okay.
Number 10 role behind your number 9 will be Willemsen for me every day of the week.
Yeah, I don't think that can be.
It's nice that he can play over, but I think he's wasted on the right. I think he naturally wants to come inside, and I think
Yeah.
we see that when he is on the right side anyway. I think they are all actually given a lot of sort of freelance movement to go where they want because
I've
they're
noticed that.
intelligent
I
enough
think,
to know.
Yes, yeah, I think they have. I think you're right there.
But nailed on then to finish off would be Alfie May, number 9, for me. So, yeah.
I think we are starting to identify now what our strongest team is. And we still have some of those problems, like you say, oh, do you put a Yokoyama in? Do you put an Anderson in? But there are some cemented positions in there that I'm starting to see. Like the back line, I know that contradict myself here, especially when talking about Ben Davis, but it is starting to, you can see it, can't you? It's getting much better.
Yeah, just throw another spanner in. And Sanderson, when he played against, I know it was the
Completely
under
going against my
21s,
point,
finals. I know, but we keep throwing these spanner in the works, don't
It's
we?
a great
But
problem to have.
it
'Cause,
is.
Instead of
But
just saying,
as long as we're keeping those players happy.
well, we're also
They know
going,
they're part of a squad system, don't they? So that's ultimately. And just to bring in, actually thinking about it, we've gone.
No, I know what you're about to say. That I was literally just about to bring this up. That player that we tried to get him in the summer,
Newman
couldn't quite get there. That's it from
from
Hanover.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, for a few million quid as well.
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah. I
reported.
think 3.4 minutes, something to the effect of that. Anyway, I might be wrong there with.
But what does it say again about Blues when they're just wanting to improve and being associated with these players? I mean, if the league doesn't, League One doesn't hate us enough, come January they're going to hate us even more if these, come off.
Well,
with
it's
some of
just
these
more.
transfers.
You get fans of opposition clubs saying, "Oh, they promised this, that, and the other. They promised the world. You watch. Can't wait to see you fall flat on your face." But time and time again, these owners have proved
But do you know what?
themselves.
Don't forget though, we're in for a shock.
But they have. I mean, outside of League One, on the bigger picture, they've put the money where their mouth is, and what they've done, what they've promised to do, they've done. The team that they've brought in, the manager that they've got, the infrastructure that they've built, and obviously seeing now we're still looking to build our team even more as we head into January.
Brilliant,
It is
isn't
brilliant.
it?
It's good
Brilliant.
to see.
It keeps us interested because it's not a case of we've built a bit of a team there. That's us sorted for the next few seasons.
Yeah.
No, they're looking at completely just growing
It's that
and
relentless
developing.
pursuit of excellence.
That's it. It's to a T.
It's brilliant, and we're not used to it, are we? So
We aren't.
It's really nice.
But this
it's
is it, and this
refreshing.
is why we keep bringing this complacency and negativity, and we're like, oh, what's going to go wrong? We're just not used to this. Having winning runs. We looked online earlier on, and you was on about this streak of just green box with the wins, and just that one loss against Charlton. And like you say, even if it could have been a draw, it would have been a nicer colour to look at, just a grey box instead of
I
a
know,
red
but
one.
still, just being so
It just looks
grateful
great,
to
doesn't
see.
it?
Yeah,
Looks great. Next up, I got nearly at the end now, so we're just, you know what I'm like, we're
it's your
mentioning
favourite bit now.
the ref. It's not my favourite bit. I'm really just careful about who we've got, and I do analyse it, but I know. But this one, oh God, I'm going to curse it now.
Don't.
Carl Brook from Scotland. He's just been around League One, League Two, and done one game in the League Cup. But his yellow cards aren't as bad as what we've mentioned
Oh,
before.
you have done it now. Well done.
Yeah, I have, haven't I? 28 yellow cards in League One, 15 in League Two, and only 4 in the game in the League Cup. Which, in all, he's had 6, 9, 10 total appearances. And he averages about 4.5 yellow cards because he's not given a red. Oh, no, I've said it, haven't I? I've said it.
Tim, it's not me.
But no, if anything happens as a result of this, I'll stop mentioning the refs. Should we
Okay.
smoothly move on to predictions?
Yeah, we can think about wrapping it up now, and we can go on to the exciting part, the predictions. You want me to start?
I don't mind on this one. Do you want me to?
Go on, you go first.
Right, I'm
then.
going to go with a nice crisp 2-0 at home.
Okay.
2-0, and Alfie May is going to get a goal. Alfie, are you listening? because he hasn't scored whenever I've said. And Williamson,
Did you not predict him to score in the Fulham game?
probably. I say him every week, don't I?
Yeah, half the team scored then.
But
So
I
there you
did.
go.
I did for the Sutton game as well, but it didn't even start.
Right, so it's restarted.
Chris, can
now.
you start him, please?
Right. So what was it? Alfie May and
Williamson.
Think
Williamson.
think we're gonna
William
keep
Williamson. William Williamson, as everyone keeps
Thor.
saying. I don't know.
Just Thor.
Thor, yeah.
So you think we're going to keep a clean sheet?
Clean sheet
Yeah.
at home
Yeah.
against Northampton.
Yeah. Okay.
2-0.
1-0.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight
You're going to
affair.
hammer them 1-0.
Right. No.
How many throw-ins do you think we'll...
I think it's going to be a tight affair, and just going off of the chances that we create, talking about what we did in the last video against Sutton in the attacking third, how we slowed down the tempo, and I know what you spoke about. Oh, we didn't get a sweat on. We went out there, had a run, this, that, and the other. I still think if you look at a catalogue of games now, one of the problems that we faced has been in the attacking third, making our chances and then converting them, and I think that that's going to haunt us again. And I think we'll just about edge it. And the goal scorer, I am going to go for Jay Stansfield, because I told you that I'd keep saying May until it happened, and it has happened now. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Stansfield scoring 1-0.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I think
Yeah.
that sorts us, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah, thanks for tuning in again today. Leave some comments if you want to join in. We always try and reply to them straight away. We've had some cracking comments recently, so keep that up. But yeah, we'll be back with you after the game on Saturday to analyse how we got on. So hopefully you'll join us at the same time, probably about Sunday, Monday, when Ben gets his editing done. Take care. Good to see you. Speak soon.